Another way that we can categorize our nutrients is as micro and macronutrients. Now this is exactly what it sounds like. Macro means large and micro means small. So macronutrients are the ones that are found in large quantities when we look into food or look into our bodies, and they're also the ones that are required in larger quantities by our bodies. So the ones that our body needs more of are the carbohydrates, our lipids, protein, and water. Those nutrients are also found in larger quantities in our bodies and in foods. And so they're going to be referred to as the macronutrients. Now, the micronutrients are the opposite. Micro means small, so these are going to be the ones that are found and required in smaller quantities, which are the vitamins and minerals. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that depending on the book that you're looking at, sometimes you might not see water included as part of the macronutrients. And the reason for this is because the rest of the macronutrients, besides water, all share another characteristic, which is that they all provide the body with energy. In this class, when we talk about energy, energy is referring to calories. Calories is a measure of energy that the food provides. So when I ask you guys, how much energy does this food provide? I'm asking how many calories does it provide? You also might see it written as kilocalories or kcals. These are just the technical terms. They're all interchangeable in this class. No reason to do conversions or anything like that. So when I say that most of the macronutrients contain calories or contain energy, I'm referring to the carbohydrates, the lipids, and the proteins that provide us with calories. Water is the exception. It doesn't provide us with calories, and that's why sometimes it's not included in the macronutrients. But if we're talking about the straight definition of a macronutrient, that's referring to quantity. And since water is found in larger quantities, it does qualify to be as part of the macronutrients. So for this class, we are going to be including water as part of the macronutrients. So we said that the nutrients that provide us with calories are the carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, but what we want to look at now are the differences in the amount of calories that each of the nutrient provides. Before we get into that, one thing that I want to mention is you will notice that I have alcohol listed as providing us with calories, even though we didn't mention it as one of the nutrients that contain calories. And the reason for that is because technically it is not a nutrient. Alcohol is classified as a toxin, and so that's why it's not part of the energy-yielding nutrients, since it's not a nutrient itself. But I did want you guys to know how many calories it provides, so I have it up here for you. Again, 1 gram of alcohol will give us 7 calories. Now let's go back and look at the amount of calories we get from the ones that are actually nutrients. So the way that we are comparing the calorie content is by looking at how many calories would we get for 1 gram of each of the different types of nutrients. So we start off with our carbohydrates, and carbohydrates provide us with 4 calories for each gram. Our protein is the same thing. 1 gram of protein will provide us with 4 calories, whereas when we look at our fats, fats contain more calories. So each gram of fat will provide us with 9 calories. Now, these are going to be numbers that you want to memorize. You're going to need them when you perform your calculations on your assignment, as well as your exam. Your exam might have some calculations on there. For example, I might tell you how many grams we have of carbohydrates, protein, and fat in a food product, and you would need to calculate how many calories does this food product provide. In order to be able to do that calculation, you would need to have these numbers memorized so that you can know how to convert the grams into calories. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. I'm just going to give you this food product here that contains 10 grams of carbohydrates, 5 grams of protein, and 2 grams of fat. And my question is, how many total calories do we get from this food product? So what we need to do, we have the nutritional information in grams, but we need to convert it to calories so that we can add it up and figure out our total calorie content. We can easily do that by looking at our key. Our key is what we have over here, how many calories we get from each gram of the individual nutrients. So if we start off with our carbohydrates, For each gram of carbohydrate, we are going to get 4 calories. In our food product, we have 10 grams of carbohydrates. If we know that each gram of carbohydrate provides us with 4 calories, that's going to be 10 times 4, which will give us 40 calories of carbohydrates. Same thing with our protein. We're going to come here and see how many calories we get for each gram, which is 4 calories for each protein gram. We have 5 grams of protein. So each one of those protein grams will provide us with 4 calories. That's going to be 5 times 4, which will give us 20 calories of protein. Lastly, we have our fat. Our food product contains 2 grams of fat. We want to know how many calories each of those grams will provide. We come back to our key. Each gram of fat will provide us with 9 calories. Since we have 2 of them, we're going to go ahead and do 2 times 9. That gives us 18 calories of fat. All we have to do at this point is total them up, and we get our total calories, which is 78 calories in this situation.